Hey, welcome to Faith Talk Live. What a pleasure to talk with our general manager and vice president of Salem Media Group. Well, the cluster here, he is VP as well, and Val Carolin. Val, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
We are good. As we can see you now, you are actually at the building. We are usually on the 7th floor doing our show, but we're quarantined at home. Is it something we said?
Yes. This has been months in the planning, guys, and so it worked out to our advantage.
This is the only place you could find peace and quiet, right? Is in your office?
Well, I'm the lucky one who gets to come in. Exactly right. It is very strange to be here, and to have the hallways empty, and all this energy that I love to soak up isn't here right now. So it's very, very strange.
Well, we appreciate you letting us all be safe. As you can see on Zoom, we're in our just respective studios here. Me in the kitchen. I'm going to do a cooking show for the station pretty soon. But we wanted to connect with you because you are the captain, of our ship, and none of us saw this coming, right? And so, wow, here we are doing we love technology. We can do our shows here and the Zoom and all that. And we, like you, miss the just face-to-face stuff. So how you doing? How you guys doing? Your family and yourselves? How you guys doing?
Everyone's good. Lucky enough, I have two in college, and they're both are home, hunkered down, and driving each other crazy. So it's just okay. Projects. What are we gonna do? We're gonna cook a Boston butt. We're gonna cook cakes. We're gonna make things. We're just trying to keep busy and have an agenda. That certainly helps.
How is it with now you have a large staff there, our Atlanta cluster, and you've got AMs, you've got the FM, and then you've got your other stations. How is everybody doing as a whole? Is it, I'm sure the logistics is, you could pull your hair out with that, right?
Well, we work with such great people, as you guys know, such professionals who care an amazing amount for each other. We got ahead of it a little bit, jumped on this a couple of weeks ago, saw something was going to be happening, and really planned well ahead to work remotely and to provide, to make sure we had all the tools we needed. And it's been rather seamless. It's been relatively easy. I know a lot of folks out there have had a hard time making this work, but our organization came together so incredibly well. And is using the technology. I mean, who knew we were going to be doing this on Zoom 2 weeks ago, right? With such a great ability. It's changing the way that we communicate with each other. It's changing the way we communicate with our listeners and with our followers on social media and online. And it's gonna, like everything, he gives this to us. He gives us this challenge for a reason. And we're gonna learn from this, and we're gonna make our lives better and our communities' lives better in the outcome of all this.
Val Carolin is our general manager at the Atlanta cluster, Salem Media Group, and also vice president of the company. What would you say to all the listeners of every station that is there in the clusters, just to kind of encourage them? It's we have folks that have lost jobs because they're basically hourly. My son and his girlfriend, both servers in Atlanta, and they're done. So until this thing has blown over, what would you say to encourage us? And how are you staying positive? I mean, the pressure on you must be a challenge. I'm so glad I'm sitting in this seat and not in that seat.
Yeah.
But what would you say to all the listeners, and what keeps you going, Val?
No, this is brutal for so many of us, so many people. This is just a brutal time, and we have to know that this is not going to go on forever. This is not the way it's always going to be. We're going to get through this, and we have to lean on each other. We have to care for each other. We have to be aware of each other. We've got to look out for those who are vulnerable. We have to look out for those who we have to anticipate are going to need help. It looks like the government is going to figure things out to really be generous and helpful. They're battling through that right now, which is very difficult to witness, but they will figure this thing out, and we will lift each other up. I think, I just believe that all these things are, even though this is a brutal challenge, and I've not got it bad at all. Like your two who aren't working, that's scary. You know,
Mhm.
I've heard other people in our company tell stories about their kids being laid off. If you're an hourly worker, that's brutal right now. You know, and right now we're not using our hourly workers. You know, we don't have a need to do remotes and promotions and events, and we're not using our hourly people right now like we plan to. You know, and our income is all being affected. Our revenue is being affected, and so it's affecting a lot of things. So we're going to have to remember that it's short term. We have to look out for each other, and we have to realize too that there's an opportunity in here somewhere for
Yeah.
um, for us personally to grow, to challenge ourselves, to see things in a new way, and that's what I pray on is what am I going to learn from this? How is this going to improve me? How is it going to improve my family? How's it going to improve my relationship with my wife, with my coworkers? What am I going to find here? And I've got to look for that.
Val, you've been in radio for many years. You've probably seen it through 9/11, through Snowmageddon,
Yeah.
through anything and everything. Have you ever seen anything quite like this in your career, in your
Oh,
lifetime?
no, absolutely not. I've been through several recessions, .com bursts and that kind of stuff, bubbles and bursts, especially. Um, no, this is different because it in a way it's a terrible, but economically this is affecting a lot of people
Hmm.
tremendously, but it will end. And the financial recession, that was different because people created that
Right.
recession. You know what I mean? So
Right.
there's a different kind of a dynamic to it.
Hmm.
Um, and this is there's just such it's a natural phenomenon that it reminds us, right? Boy, it certainly humbles us, doesn't it? That
Right. Right.
Mhm.
we don't have any control over what goes on, and I think this is part of nature, bigger than us, more
Right.
powerful than us.
Hmm.
So
You
it
know,
certainly humbled us.
as Salem Media Group and what we do, all of us, not just the personalities that people see and hear, but everybody there, the family, if you will, it's always been our vision to reach out and help other people. And now other people are asking, hey, how can we help you guys? What can we do? What can our listeners do for us
Oh,
at Salem Media Group, for you, for all of us?
no, I think this is a chance to encourage others. And I think this is, that what's that, that this is this is an opportunity for us to thank others. What was it that Mr. Rogers quote that, his mother told him
Mm.
when he was young and scared? He said, when you're in a scary time, look for the helpers.
Right. Right.
That great line of his that he shared. Look for those around us who are helping and be kind to them and be thankful to them and be generous to them and care for them. Boy, these healthcare workers we have, they're putting their lives in the line
Mm-hmm.
every day. They don't know what they're going to walk into that day and what they're
Hmm.
going to bring home to their families that day, and if they're going to be healthy. And I keep them in my prayers and in my thoughts. And for us, just be there with us, be part of our community, be focusing on what um, is good and what is right, and on the helpers. And if we all pull together, that's what I ask everyone does.
Hmm.
Val, we've been getting the opportunity to talk to some of our national ministries via Zoom, and that's been a
Yes.
real incredible opportunity to see how they're doing and how their ministries are impacting not only their own communities, but our community. At your level, what have you seen? What have you been able to see as people come together, not only in the Salem network, but in the network of Atlanta? We see things on the local level, but what have you seen so far that's just really stood out to you in this time of people coming together?
I've seen a ton of sharing. I think that's really been great. And I communicate with all the other Salem markets regularly. We have a lot of communication back and forth. I work daily with Tampa, Orlando, and Greenville and Miami every day, and there's just a lot of sharing that goes on. And people are scared. Many people are fearful during this time. And whether it be we talked to Dallas, Los Angeles, Portland, Seattle, everywhere where we have operations going on. Um, our communication with each other has been so important. What are your teams experiencing? What are they going through? What are our successes? Let's focus on our successes, what we're doing well, how we're serving. This kind of program that you guys are doing, this way is a new way to communicate. Face-to-face is really, oh, my phone's ringing. Hold on a sec. Let me turn that down.
Speaking of communication.
Because I'm working here, and that's our guy from Greenville. Pat's calling me. So
I thought it was your wife. She needed another gallon of milk.
And more toilet paper.
Home.
I need more toilet paper. I'm not going to respond to that call if she calls me with that. Hopefully, good Lord, how about that hoarding? And that's sad.
It's amazing.
Oh, it just breaks my heart. But I think a lot of sharing. That's what it's about. I think that's been the most encouraging thing. People are vulnerable. If they have concerns, they feel good. They feel good on and feel safe enough to share those concerns, which I think is awesome. And then our community at Salem has been great about kind of reaching out to each other as well. We're reaching out to our ministries a lot, like you guys, like you said, Morgan, and we want to make sure that our ministries are in here in the marketplace, talking with us locally, sharing their inspirational thoughts and stories and lifting us up. I think I really try and avoid the news now because it's this, all it does is just breed so much fear.
Yeah.
I'm not learning a whole lot. I kind of check in once a day, and just spend about half an hour with it because I just can't do it all day long. And so let's spend time, being uplifted. Let's find this quiet time. Let's try and keep it quiet, right? Let's be quiet a little bit during the day and have time for thought and reflection.
Yeah.
That's so good. Val Carolin, he is our general manager and vice president of Salem Media Group, over so many stations here in the Atlanta cluster, and really other stations here in other markets, actually, as the vice president. Val, we appreciate you. We're praying for you. Thank you for leading strong, and our prayers are with you and your precious family.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it very much.
Awesome. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a break. You're listening to Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
And I'm Jess Morgan.
We'll be right back. Stay there.